Good morning. I am here to talk about participation or not in the system as a whole, as we know it. So, what do I mean? Well, as you all know, I made it rather public that I was going through a rather difficult breakup at this time. And in some ways, many of us are experiencing things like breakups at this time because our partnerships are no longer in alignment with who we are. And so, no real problem here in a way, because when you're not in alignment, you don't really want to be stuck with something or someone who isn't energetically wanting to flow in a direction you're flowing. And many of us are finding, especially those of us who are really committed to doing the work, are finding that it's just really difficult. So I am using the Tarot de St. Croix by Lisa de St. Croix. And what am I asking today? So, one of my questions being that for me, the times we're in, that one of the things that came to my attention right away was there was a lawyer that got hired, and then there were threats. And, basically, I immediately was very turned off, and I talked with someone that was a lawyer and decided after speaking with them that I really just didn't want to play the game, that I wasn't going to play the game, and I don't have to play the game. And what game is that? Well, we legally we come into especially my age group. I'm 62. We come into life thinking marriage, partnership. I'm who I marry. I'm I'm basically my husband's identity, and that's how I go forward. And this is largely as women in a lot of ways my age have done. And I didn't embrace feminism because I didn't fully understand it. And I think it was, we do need to have our autonomy. We do need to be recognized for our good and not treated like we are in a lot of instances. But I didn't know that feminism for me was exactly the right way I wanted to express myself. So, I just never really went there and went, into the gardening, housewife, cooking, cleaning kind of thing. And as I become educated and grown and doing all this work, and currently I'm in another really big program, the STA program, where I'm learning now to do horary questions, and which is really delighting me because I love math. Okay, but we get in these situations where we get married, we decide that we're married to the devil himself or herself, and then we have to unentangle. So we go hire a person who is educated, a lawyer, who encourages us in a way to drag things out and to have issues with our partners, and make things where really the truth is, whatever it was, like in my case, very long marriage. I've talked to him over the years many times about many things. There's no reason that I can't continue to talk to him and work with him myself, and as opposed to having a person who's acting as the judge and mediator. And no, I'm not interested. And it costs a lot of money. And look at the game and how it's played, folks. Look at the game. And it is these really educated people that we're all catering to right now. We run out, we pay our lawyer fees so we can go get a divorce. And then we run back out, we pay our fee to go in and get married. And it just goes back and forth. And then we have illnesses, and we pay our way to find out that, oh, there's nothing wrong. And it's all a rock. We're becoming physically ill. We're all heavy with metals in our body. I could go on and on and on. And it is our educated class that has led us here. And I'm educated, and it's sickening to me. So, what am I doing? I'm going to use these cards, and I'm just going to do a brief reading on learning to let go of what no longer serves. And that includes following these really highly educated people who are telling us, yeah, you can't use your body this way. And if you do this, you're going to go to jail. Like if you get pregnant and you don't want the child, oh my God, that's a crime for sure, which is sick. So what are we dealing with? Well, we kind of got this Ace of Swords energy. Let me make sure this is showing up good in the camera. So this Ace of Swords, And this is kind of sickening, and I'm trying to get it so it's in focus a bit better. But you can see there's these new thoughts coming in. And for me, where does this come from? Well, we're getting ready to have the next series of eclipses. We got one more Taurus, Scorpio, Taurus. And then within, 8 months of now, we're going to be into Aries, Libra, Aries. What is that? Well, that is basically how we see ourselves, keeping ourselves physically fit, how we present ourselves to love and life and relationships. And on the other side of it is our medical, it's our lawyers, it's our partnerships, it's how we maintain them, keep them, what we think of them, whether we keep them in a certain way or don't. New things are coming. And thank goodness, because I think it's time that we recognize that these very educated people that play the game of parlor, I guess, in court, are not doing a thing for us. And we're paying them to do that. We're paying them for life to sit around and judge us and maintain their pressure upon us. And many of us suffering in sick bodies, many of us suffering in relationships we're not happy in for fear of what is going to happen to us financially. It's one of these things that all I can say is I know right now corrections are being made, and that's that Taurus Scorpio, because that's your money, that's other people's money. Everything in this sense is a wheel that dials, and it just keeps going. And these eclipses being one of the biggest things in astrology that really could use a lot more understanding in our society. But people are taught astrology based upon some modern concept, and they forget that the older concepts are also important. So in this sense, myself, I'm interested in bringing back what's real and letting go of what isn't. So up to and including thinking for myself. So the next card we get is the Nine of Wands, where yes, I've had to pull back and go into retreat. Let me see if I can get this kind of focused good. Anyway, I've had to pull back and I've had to go into retreat, and I don't particularly mind right now not being connected to someone else, because it gives me the ability to think freely and to have hope for my future. And I'm doing many things as a result of it. I have lots of ideas. I'm working hard. I've already done one medical astrology program. And due to the fact that I didn't feel that it was thorough enough, I decided that I was going to move on to this program I'm in right now, the STA. I want to be someone that can provide the answers or the information in a competent manner. And I believe that we've largely been misled. And those of us who get sick were taught that it's not it's a process of the gods, that spiritually you came in and you had done something that has created this need for you to be in this tunnel of illness, and there's nothing we can do to help you. And no matter how bad it gets until you're almost dead and they can basically charge you millions of dollars for chemotherapy, they don't seem to have any answers. So I'm not going to say what I'm saying, because it just always gets my videos shadow banned. So it just always does, which is sad, because I think it's important that we question our system and that we question those who have put their thumb on our necks. And the last card, the Eight of Pentacles. For those of us who recognize and break free, we're building up our way of being. We're securing our lives now. Many of us, having done a lot of work in myself, I started in 2016 due to the political environment and what I thought was a really scary level of hate coming over what I thought was the community at large, and only to understand now that this wasn't something coming over people. This was something people were experiencing and have been experiencing for some time, and that they were just in the closet about it. And that's very disturbing to me, because I am not somebody who does racism. I don't view myself, this is going to be a strange statement, but it's also very true. I don't necessarily view myself as a white person. And if you've ever seen Ayla, the movie The Clan of the Cave Bears, or read the book, I've always felt like I was Ayla in my own culture. And I felt this way largely because I don't relate to all the division. I never have. As a very young child, when I would watch on TV, because my dad was obsessed with war and different things that were going on in society and politics, and still is today. The truth was, I always saw it as, I was really glad I was born as a girl, because had I not been, no matter what, they would have sent me to war. I was just sure of it, one thing. And the second thing was that if I got sent to war, I would just assume that I be the one get shot rather than be the one that shoots another. So my humanitarianism back all this time has been there. That new moon in Aquarius today or yesterday reminds me of who I am and what matters. And so I bring these clips. They are about our cause, our humanitarian collective cause that we, the people, need to be aware of. And so vote with your wallet. Don't pay these attorneys if you're going through something of a breakup or a difficult time. Don't go there. Don't let them influence you into doing things with your wallet because they want to play daddy and mommy or hero. They're not your hero. They're the thieves. They've been the thieves in the night the whole time. And so it's time for us to wake up and smell the roses and stop giving them everything we got, and get yourself a garden going on top of it, because they haven't managed much of anything right. And as a result, there's going to come a process where things aren't as easy for us to get a hold of. So, in that place, please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. Consider booking a reading. And if you are interested in a reading, please do contact me via email or text. And we shall go from there. You give me a brief overview of what you want, and myself and my co-reader, Maha's Treasure Box, we will get back with you and provide you the answers to what you need. So with that, I thank you very much for joining me here today.